Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Supernatural. This time we're on season 15, episode 17. Last time we had Sam and Dean hunting down a case for an old friend. An old friend of theirs had died. Not a hunter, a very, very kind of momentary hunter. It was like another episode, one final episode where we had like young Sam and Dean flashbacks that kind of intersected with the present. And it was a monster they thought they killed, the Baba Yaga, but it turns out she had actually still been alive and inside the necklace that their friend had been carrying. So he went back as part of some kind of immersion therapy that his doctor put him through, and he ended up dying to the Baba Yaga, using him as a manifestation and whatnot. So they went back to solve that. So it was cool seeing one last episode being like a mixture of like a monster of the week and a young Sam and Dean. It was a really cool way to, I think, to mold those two concepts together, so that was fun. But we also had Billy returning. Billy returned to give Dean one last message before the end, also saying that this would be the last time she would be able to come back before the end, because she wasn't a huge part of God's story in any other way. So she came back to warn him that all the other worlds were gone. All the other worlds, God had all destroyed them. So this Earth, is basically the last one left in this supernatural crisis. So any day now, God could come back and do his thing and destroy what's left of reality, and Sam and Dean have to make sure that they're ready by then. Like she explicitly made sure to tell him, like, by the time he comes back, you and your boys, you need to be ready. There's no time for chit chat after that. Like by that time you need to sort out all your issues before then. So we're coming ever closer to the end. But then Dean did finally reveal to Sam that not only was Jack gonna die, but he also knew about it before they left on this particular hunt. He had been keeping Sam in the dark the entire episode, but he finally told Sam that Jack has a plan, but it's Bobby's plan, Billy's plan even, but that plan will also get him killed. So we're gonna have to get ready to say goodbye to Jack too. So they argued for a bit back and forth, and then Sam just insisted on some peace and quiet the rest of the ride back to the bunker. So yeah, things are getting ready to be heavy and dramatic for the final few episodes. Things are getting ready to be heavy and dramatic, so God knows how this is all going to end. But yeah, I think these final few episodes should be much more closely knit and much more, like, not like, should be more like, speedy. Like, they're going to have to get through things at a quick pace, and things are going to go down hard and heavy, and yeah, it's gonna be a wild ride. So from here on out, it's Operation Take Chuck Out, and we'll see exactly how Billy's plan comes to fruition, if it does. But I'm still on the kind of mindset that they're gonna talk over and over about this plan, but it's gonna be like with the Malik box. Like it's like they're not actually gonna go through it. Like they're gonna find another way, because Cass left the bunker to find another way. He didn't want to have to lose Jack, so he left to find another way. So I'm like 70% sure, 70% confident that he'll actually find another way and he'll be able to save Jack. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see exactly how things go down. But yeah, that was pretty much it. And they've got Amara on their side somewhat. She said she would think about it, so they have to wait to see what her official kind of opinion on the matter is. But yeah, hopefully they can find a way to keep everyone alive and take out Chuck and Amara at the same time. But yeah, I mean that's another thing too. Like Amara doesn't know. I mean, she knows, but she doesn't know that they're actually planning to take her out too. She knows that if you take Chuck out, then you have to take her out too. But she doesn't know if the boys have actually planned that far ahead, or if they're actually gonna go through with it. But again, I guess we'll see. We will see. But that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. So on to episode 17. This will be the highlight reel, so if you guys want to watch the full-length reaction, then you can do that over on Patreon. You just need your own copy of the episode, you can sync it up, and you'll be good to go. So yeah, that is it. So Supernatural, let's go. Got a nice little bun. That's cool. A nice, lovely view of the stars. The star's gonna go out like in Doctor Who.
I wish we'd gotten to know one another. That's my fault. Maybe when all of this is over, we can?
He's been juicing himself.
Okay, you
up
can't
with
let him
the
die after that. You
Like,
can't let
I
him
need
die
to
after
completely
that.
find
Come on, he
control.
needs to get to know his grand auntie Amara.
I wish you'd have been upfront with us. But sacrificing your life for a cause takes a lot of courage.
That's the Winchester way. That's the way of the Winchester.
Last I checked, we don't give up on family. Jack's not family.
Excusez-moi? You're lucky he's not there to hear that right now. You'd break his little heart.
I know how you feel about the kid, okay? I care for him too.
After he said, I am a Winchester, I am a hunter in the last season, really?
He's not like Cass. He's just not.
I'm ready.
You just had to open your big mouth, didn't you, Dean? You just had to open your big cheeseburger-eating mouth. That is not Dean at all. No, Dean, he's called Jack family before. He would not just sidestep that right now. He would not say that. That is so out of place for Dean. No. That's a really lovely velvet suit.
You and Dean had that whole weird thing.
That wasn't you writing?
Ugh, not that part. Gross.
I mean, yeah, Amara has her own power too. She can
Well, I'm not
decide her own actions. Yeah. You know, I'm really glad I get to see more of Emily Swallow in this and more of her in the new Mandalorian. I don't know if she's going to be in the Mandalorian. I don't know if she's going to be in Mandalorian season. I hope she is. I hope she is. I hope
Take a
so.
breath.
And this is where you drop some sappy crap about how perfect my first tree was or whatever.
Wasn't it though? Perfect.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
Why don't you just retire and be a gardener? Why don't you just be a gardener or like a florist or something?
Like, why did I go with carbon-based life? Why not silicon? Or yttrium?
Yttrium. Or how about you make vibranium
Starting
real,
fresh.
you know?
That's what I need.
How does your wick feel about fans?
The angels.
Is that really?
The angels.
It's him.
Yeah, the angels.
Amazing. He's so handsome.
He's such a child. He's such a
Really?
child.
You B-word.
The
You
Winchesters
A-word.
have found a way to bind you, brother.
Okay.
What?
I can hold you long enough.
Long enough for them to do their thing. But then Amara gets taken out too.
I'm Adam.
Wait, is this Adam and Eve?
Adam.
Yeah, you know. God's
Adam and
kingdom.
Eve.
First dude off the assembly line.
Adam and Eve.
Wait. The,
Eve.
the garden, the apple,
Eve.
that Adam. So then that makes you Eve.
Serafina.
Serafina.
Babe.
Yeah.
Adam and Serafina. I've never heard of that.
Skittles.
Serafina before. I've never heard of Serafina before. So he needed an angel to keep him company now. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's
All right, let's get this party started.
interesting presence for an angel.
Wait. Where are you taking him?
And the others. All of them. They're just rocks, but their existence makes them divine. Because God isn't everything.
Figures that would be the trick answer. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Dudes, chill.
You're awfully calm for having just been shanked by a knife. And now beating out his rib. The rib of Adam. Wasn't Eve born from that? Was Eve not born
What the hell
from
is
that?
Everything can contain the spark of the divine, but this puppy is packing enough punch to create life.
Yeah, like Eve.
Or in your
Yeah.
case, destroy God.
Okay.
Like a metaphysical supernova.
Yeah, he has to handle the backlash.
Meaning what?
But then he'll
You'll
die.
collapse into a living black hole for divine energy. One nothing can escape. Not the darkness, not God himself.
Imagine if they just use that to create like another Eve, and her and Jack just tag team God. That would be awesome.
We got a shot at living a life. Without all this crap on our backs. And that's because of you. Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Can you at least reclaim him as family now, please? You know?
It's time, isn't it?
No, it's only episode 17. We still have like 3 more episodes to
time.
go. It's not time yet. We have 3 more episodes to go. Oh, that looks ominous. Yeah, black box with the red skull. That looks ominous. There's the key. Oh. Oh, it carves out the door in the nearest wall. It carves out the door in the nearest wall. And a keyhole. There we go. Very, very convenient keyhole.
Please. Please.
Oh, it's the empty. It's the empty.
Keep praying or whatever.
Oh, crap.
Sam Winchester?
Meg?
Sorry, she's still
Yeah.
dead.
And
Just
the beautiful
buying
form
Queen's
of Meg,
briefcase,
yeah.
'cause really, I'm empty.
Yeah.
Billy wants to take over.
Become new god. Classic
Billy-
narcissist, right?
Billy wants to take over?
Still tingly for the rules, the good old days. What should be dead dies, angels off Earth, demons back to hell, and I go back to sleep. Or I'm
Oh,
supposed to.
crap.
Except again, trust issues. Where is she?
Earth.
Yeah, the
We
one
can't
place.
go there,
Yeah, the
can
one
we?
place the empty can't go.
Only if I'm summoned.
And she never would be
God's
summoned.
so protective of his little sand castles.
It doesn't have to end like this.
Amara, shut up.
You shut up.
I always gotta know everything. Can't leave well enough alone.
Wait, Chuck wrote this, didn't he? Did Chuck write this down?
This is my ending.
This is how he wants it to go down.
My real ending.
He wanted to be in the bunker. Oh, crap.
Move.
Okay, Dean, you are not
Dean,
going to
don't.
shoot Sam.
Move, Sam.
You are not shooting Sam.
Move! That means everybody. From Apocalypse World, Bobby, Charlie. They get sent back to a place that doesn't exist anymore.
They
And
die.
everyone was saved.
All of them die.
Eileen, she just dies again. And that's just the beginning.
Angels in heaven, demons in hell, empty back to sleep,
Look,
everything goes
I get
back.
it.
I don't, man. I traded all. I trade them all for Chuck. In a heartbeat.
What about me? Would you trade me?
Cass, would you trade Cass? Hmm? No, no, mm-mm. Oh no. He's absorbing her. Light and dark. Oh, that's such a cool effect. No.
From Lucifer? From everything. I didn't always like it, you know? But it's the one thing in the whole world that I can always count on. We'll figure it out, Dean. We'll find another way, you and me. We always do.
Oh my god.
You know what every other version of you did after gripping him tight and raising him from perdition? They did what they were told. But not you. Not the one off the line with a crack in his chassis. Kill each other, don't kill each other. I don't care.
What do you mean?
I mean, have fun watching him die.
Jack?
Help me!
No, we are not losing Jack again. Jack? Oh. Oh.
Jack.
You're ending. The places you choose to end these episodes is seriously starting to piss me off. Oh, jeez, Louises. Oh, God, okay. Okay. I see how you want to play this. I see how you want to play this, writers. I see how you want to play this. Okay, yeah, that was that was a whopper. That was a whopper, and I think we're coming up. I feel like these final 4 episodes, this one and the next 3, are actually shaping up to be the big bangers of the of this series kind of finale. They're the ones where things go down and you get led into different pathways and you get misled and all the stuff going on. It's going to be the 4 heaviest episodes of this kind of of this season as a whole, but also possibly even given that it's the series finale, possibly even given the entire series. So yeah, damn. Okay, so yeah, so we had a kind of like a nice kind of perspective based episode. Perspective kind of based episode. This episode, seeing it from Dean's perspective, seeing it from Amara's perspective, seeing it from I think Sam's perspective. I think it was we saw like a bunch of different perspectives, how things actually go down, what each character does, how they play their parts. So yeah, Dean declaring that Jack wasn't family, that rubbed me like that. That doesn't sound like anything Dean would ever say, because he's claimed him as family before. Like the past few seasons, albeit Jack's first season wasn't exactly the best for him, because like Jack's first season was kind of focused more on that whole internal struggle of being known as Lucifer's kid or being known as Jack. Like he struggled for something like before Cass came. Like if he was saying this before Cass came along, then it would make sense. Like when Dean first met Jack, he was very, very skeptical about his entire existence. But then he actually grew. Like in the seasons afterwards, he grew to love him. He actually grew to actually claim him as family. And at certain points, he did claim him as family. So now for him to kind of backtrack on that as a whole doesn't seem right. Regardless of how angry Dean is or how much pain Dean is in, I personally don't think Dean would ever actually go that far to be like, oh, we don't have to worry about killing Jack or letting him die because he's not family, so it's like less emotional baggage for us to carry. Like he would never say something like that. He would admit that it's something that I think he would truthfully just carry on admitting what he's been admitting all along and be like, it's just something we have to do. We don't have to like it, but it's the way things have to be. But I don't think he would ever go so far as to be like, it's even easier for us to be okay with it because Jack's not really family. Like he would never go that far. So that just kind of rubbed me entirely the wrong way. Like, even Cass has been with them longer, and Cass is pretty much proof that I think it's one of Dean's famous lines. I think that he's like he once said on the show that just because you're blood doesn't make you family, you have to earn that. And I think I think that's why he compared him to Cass as well. Cass has spent the time with them, he's died for them, he's died with them, he's done things for them, and he's made mistakes, but he's had the arc of actually becoming a Winchester himself. And Jack, he's been on the show for a good enough time. He's been on the show for like a good handful of seasons. So he's had his time too. So Dean just kind of suddenly declaring that Jack's not really family, just it seems like a really weird line for them to make him pull. Just make him that could be Chuck's thing. That could be Chuck actually writing that out. It could be Chuck trying to raise tensions between him and Dean, but between him and Jack even. So I don't know, but that whole thing just rubbed me the wrong way. But then in the end, Dean did have the emotional moment in the car of not apologizing for it, or not like apologizing or backtracking on that too, and going back to saying, oh, don't worry, you really are family, but actually just just thanking Jack for doing what he's about to do and for giving up something so big to be able to give them what they need and what they want. So he did have that moment at least, but so that stuff went down. So yeah, Jack and Dean went to a jewelry shop and they met Adam. Like not Adam Winchester, not the one who's got Michael being lugged around inside his body. No, this is Adam, the first man, the first guy that God created. So I thought the woman with him would be Eve, and I was half expecting it would be such a crazy crossover if not only did they get Eve, they actually got I can't remember what the actress's name is, but the woman who plays Eve over on Lucifer, if they actually got her to play Eve in this too, that would be such a crazy crossover. They likely wouldn't even be able to actually mention, oh, this is that Eve, but because it's like different universes. But it would be crazy if they just out of pure coincidence, or even if they just went that extra mile without confirming anything, they just got the same woman to play Eve. But no, the woman with him was not actually Eve. Her name was Seraphina, and she was an angel that kept him alive all this time. So I was wondering, if you're the first guy, then you got to be like a bajillion years old, man. You got to be like being, surprised he's not being lugged around like a wheelchair or like a hospital bed or something. But no, Seraphina. I mean, he still had grays. He still looked mature for his age and stuff. But Seraphina being an angel and being a wacky angel like that, smoking, drinking mushroom tea. I mean, tea alone is just. Yeah, it's tea, but mushroom tea. Admittedly, when she mentioned mushroom tea, the first thing that popped into my head was not the drug mushroom, but more like actual cooking vegetable mushrooms. That just kind of, made me just even squirm even more. But no, given what they are and the kind of people they are, like the mushroom tea they drink is probably not regular mushrooms. So yeah, so then she was high on mushroom tea, and she saw visions of all the stuff happening and stuff. So yeah, so she kept him alive. And Yeah, so it was actually. So I think he mentioned that it was their plan. It was their plan to kill God. And that Billy was aiding them in it. So it was their plan to actually, you know, like create, like to actually like to create like a weapon or something, you know, powerful enough to actually take out God himself. And then Billy aided them in it. So yeah, so Adam, the first guy, and he gave up his rib. He gave up his rib. I mean, yeah, like when they first, I think I thought she was going to take out like a chunk of his heart or something, but then the rib would actually make more sense. And I think as soon as I saw that, I thought their plan would be like, you know, okay, create someone that Jack can work with, create someone of equal divine power that Jack can work with to tag team God. And Amara if necessary, but no, his plan was to actually have Jack consume the rib and then use that power to create a metaphysical supernova, something that would create like a living black hole. Like it would turn Jack into a living black hole that nothing could escape, not even not God. I mean, well, I think I say nothing, but mainly just not God or the darkness. So like a weapon, like a black hole created to destroy them and take over as something new. So yeah, so he gave him the rib, and Jack consumed that shit. So that was cool, meeting Adam, the first dude. So I wonder what did happen to Eve then. I think. Wait, no. Wait, have we met Eve already? I think we might have. I think a few seasons back, Eve, I think was it Eve? I think was it like the mother of monsters? Like they defeated her with Phoenix Ash at one point. Like Dean actually chugged Phoenix Ash in his beer or something, and they actually and she tried to bite him, but then I think was that Eve? Was that Eve? I'm gonna go look that up. Actually, I think that might have been Eve, but I remember she was mainly just the mother of monsters. Yeah, like she was like that. That's what she was actually. Yeah, I think that's what she was actually. Yeah, that was Eve. Yeah, the mother of monsters. But wait, was that the same Eve though? Is that the same like Adam and Eve, or was it someone else? Because it must have been Eve, right? It had to have been Eve. Yeah, I mean, she was created like, you know, way back before, like in like near the beginning and everything, existence before angels. And she created the alphas. She created the alphas, and then those alphas created more and more monsters. So she's the mother of the alpha monsters, but she was from purgatory. So yeah, I think I don't know if she's the actual Adam and Eve, but I don't know. I don't think this is that Eve. I don't think this is that one. So yeah, I think her history was more to do with the actual monsters and being in purgatory. So I don't think she's the actual Adam and Eve, just like another like big major villain also coincidentally named Eve. So yeah, then what happened to Eve? What happened to like because her and Adam were both banished from the garden after what they did. So like whatever happened to Eve? Like, you know, Adam never even kept tabs on her. But yeah, I mean, well, Adam, I think. Wait, the history of that. So wait, so Adam. I mean, no, Adam and Eve were created together, but then, wait, but we also had Lilith. We also had Lilith was I think Eve. Okay, no. I think Lilith was actually his first wife. I think Lilith was his first wife. But she wasn't so but God and Adam wanted someone who would be subservient to Adam, and Lilith wasn't that. Like Lilith wanted her own freedom, she wanted to be her own person. So that then went against God's plans and Adam's plans and what they both wanted. So then they banished her to hell, I believe. Because even in this show, Lilith was a demon. But yeah, so they banished her, and then he created Eve to be specifically to be subservient to Adam. So he was like, so she was like the first wife he had that actually, you know, was with him. But Lilith was his first wife, but because she didn't really align with their agendas, they then banished her, and then God created Eve from Adam's rib and all that yada yada yada. So yeah, so we've had Lilith, we've had Lilith, way back in like much closer towards the beginning of Supernatural. But Eve, the first female, I don't know if we've had her unless she is the same as the mother of monsters. I don't know. But I think even back then, like they never mentioned or, you know, referenced the beginning and Adam and Eve. Like they kind of more specifically went down the route of her being the mother of monsters and being like a monster from purgatory and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm curious what happened to Eve. Like, you know, like did she exist? I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like, I mean, the whole reason for them giving him Adam's rib was to actually create a weapon. It wasn't actually to create like another person. It wasn't even a reference to that. Like I thought Dean might mention like, oh, what, you want us to create like another person from this? Because I think they did mention that the rib is powerful enough to create like a whole new living being, which is what they did to create Eve. But no, but they then more specific like. But so then I was kind of half expecting Dean to be like, what, you want us to create like another Eve from this, or like another someone else? But no, their plan was to actually create like a weapon that Jack could use, or to turn Jack into a weapon that could do what they wanted it to do. So yeah, Adam and Serafina, and they're tripping balls and in love. So that's cute. That's very, very cute. And then Sam and Cass were doing their own hunting for the key to death, so that they could actually go into Death's library and take a quick little sneak peek at Chuck's death book and see what the plan really was. And then Sam runs into the Empty. So the Empty is up in Death's domains. I think the Empty. I think yeah, like that kind of confused me. I didn't really think that. I mean, it might just be my poor memory, but I don't remember it being mentioned that the Empty could not only leave its own dimension, but also go into other domains. I mean, the only other domain... I mean, well, no, it could, because it went into heaven. It attacked the angels in heaven back when Lucifer... I think, no. Wait, no, that wasn't the Empty, no, that was the darkness. Wait. Yeah, that was the darkness, but I don't know, I think the Empty did attack heaven, like, more recently, like, after that, but more recently, the Empty actually did attack heaven and infiltrate stuff, and it actually did get into heaven, so it can leave. So yeah, so Earth is the only place it can't go. Earth is the only dimension, like, the world of the actual living humans is the one dimension it can't go to. But it did actually manage to infiltrate heaven. It killed a bunch of angels, and then that's where that was the same episode that the whole deal with Cass thing went down. That was when it made the deal with Cass that, once you're truly happy, I'll take you. So it can infiltrate heaven. It can get into heaven. I don't know if we've ever seen it go into hell, but it can go into heaven, and now it can go into Death's domain too, apparently. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's a metaphysical being. It's like a higher being. So it can go pretty much almost anywhere it pleases. It can't really go to heaven, because otherwise it would have just, snatched up the people it wants just like that. But yeah, no, but the Empty is somewhat a part of Billy's plan too. I think the Empty kind of believes in Billy's plan, because then the Empty can just go back to sleep. The Empty loves its sleep. It's a sleep addict, so it loves being able to sleep and not being disturbed by, angels and demons being woken up within it. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, no. And it was cool seeing Rachel Miner too. Rachel Miner, I love seeing her back in this. I think it's good that we actually have that kind of manifestation now. It's not just like a gooey figure with no actual face or anything. It's actual, like a personification of some sort. Or is a persona? I don't know if I'm using that word right at all. But it's good that we actually get like a face and an actual voice that we recognize for it too. So Meg being Meg, I think again, I think I'd be happy if it was either Meg or Crowley, because Crowley's down there too. Crowley's a demon. He died. He went straight to the Empty. So it would be cool if it was either of those two characters. I'd be happy. But Meg, I'm always happy to see some Rachel Miner as a Empty in the form of Meg. So yeah, and even Sam hasn't really seen the Empty in that form yet. So he actually thought it was actually Meg come back to life, but no, it was the Empty using her face. So yeah, So then the Empty actually revealed Billy's true plan. Billy has like a whole other plan in place, like a power play, and Billy is very much a traditionalist. Billy is very much like a kind of traditionalist, or like a like she wants to revert back to the old days of things going back to where they belong. Like that's her whole plan. It's not just it. Like her plan isn't just taking out God and Amara. It's actually making sure things go back to the way they were. Like, 'cause I think even when she was first introduced as just a Reaper, that was her whole shtick. That was her whole thing. Like, telling Dean, like, oh, you're the Winchesters, you give Death a bad name. Like her whole thing back then that didn't really make her a villain, but made her somewhat more antagonistic was the fact that she didn't want to kill them, but she wanted to make sure that when they died, they actually stayed dead. That was her whole thing. So yeah, and then and then I think it was when they were like in prison and like a deal was made and they used Billy's help, and then Billy said that after that one of the Winchesters had to go with her and die permanently, but then Cass killed her, and then that made her the next Reaper and everything. So yeah, so Billy's whole thing is actually traditionalism, the good old ways, the good old days and stuff. So her plan would then it would create a new power vacuum that she would fill, but then she'd use that power to turn the clocks back to, you know, what things used to be back in her original days. And so then humans on Earth, like only the living would be on Earth, only living humans would be on Earth, and then demons in hell, angels in heaven. Everything goes back to stuff that's dead goes back to the empty. I mean, well, yeah. So, but you know, Jack and Cass both died, so then they wouldn't go back to Earth, and I mean, they wouldn't go back to heaven. They would go back to the empty because they were dead, and even, you know, that would fulfill Cass's deal with the empty. That would fulfill Castiel's deal with the empty. So yeah, so that would go back then. But then Sam actually confirmed it further. You know, everyone they saved from the other worlds too, they would go back. But then he also said that they would go back to a world that didn't exist, because then the other worlds are all gone. The apocalypse has been destroyed. All the other worlds have been gone. So then they would go back to they would die essentially. They would go back to a plane of existence that no longer exists. Like it would just be like a darkness, that would be like a whole other kind of empty, like nothing there, so nothing for them to live on. They would just go back to nothingness pretty much. And Eileen would probably go back to being a ghost and being stuck in limbo or whatever. So yes, and they'd lose a lot more. Like they'd lose a lot more than they'd win. They'd be able to live. They'd be able to live afterwards because they'd still be humans. They'd be living on Earth. But everyone they saved would go back, and they'd lose Cass. They'd lose Jack. They'd lose everyone else. So yeah, Billy. I mean, the entire time the entire time they had me of all people, like me believing that that Billy actually wanted to save everything, but Billy saving everything, Billy's definition of saving things and everyone else's definition of saving things is somewhat different. She believes in actually reverting things to the way they used to be as saving things, the way she's comfortable with, the way she recognizes like order and like systematic integrity and all that sort of stuff. So she believes in, if something happens, then it should stay that way. Like if something dies, then they should stay dead. It shouldn't be brought back to life. It shouldn't be resurrected through deals or bartering or whatever. Demons belong in hell, angels belong in heaven. Everything is where it's supposed to be, doing what it's supposed to do. So it makes sense for Billy's character, I guess. And I think her being death definitely gives her that edge of like power, where she is the only one who has access to this information, but also in like not just in the way that only she can read it, but she chooses what she shares. She never shared any of this, and intentionally so, with Sam and Dean. She only shared the fact that we have a chance to defeat God. It might kill Jack, but this is the way. But nothing about, oh yeah, you better be prepared to say goodbye to Jack and Cass in more ways than one, and everyone you ever saved. So yeah, so that was that. And then Amara took a walk with Chuck. And tried to actually get through to him, tried to talk to him, and tried to actually get him to understand why it was a bad idea to destroy everything. But Chuck is basically like a literal man-child. He's throwing a temper tantrum. He wants things exactly the way he wants. He's a narcissist more than anything else. But when he doesn't get what he wants, his idea is just to start clean. But that also means wiping everything off the board, wiping out entire lives and stories and stuff. His story is all that matters. His story is all that matters. So he cares more about that than anything else. So then Amara realized by the end of it, okay, well then I might as well just keep you here and buy some time for the Winchesters to do their thing and stuff. So then that angered Chuck enough for him to actually reveal the truth to Amara that the whole balance thing, I figured she would know, but I figured that it was also something that they just wouldn't really need to confirm. I thought that was why she mentioned the balance. Like she mentioned, a couple of episodes back, the fact that her and God are opposite ends of the spectrum. She's destruction, he's creation. So you take out one, you need to take out both. Like that was what she was implying. So I figured she already knew that, if they do this, they must know then surely they need to take me out too. But then it actually takes this episode and Chuck actually going the extra mile to confirm that they're going to try and kill her too, for her to actually realize the truth. And then he just kind of manipulates her into giving up to him. So he actually ended up consuming her. He held out his hand and she thought, okay, well this must be the way. And then just consumed him. And that was cool, seeing how like they actually merged in his eyes. Just so one eye was like an angelic glow, and one eye was just pure darkness. Like that kind of merge was really cool to see. But yeah, now Chuck has the power of both. Chuck just, I mean, I didn't know he would need to consume her. I thought she would be able to use her own power in alignment with his. But apparently, I think this kind of gives him the edge too. That, like, having her inside him gives him the edge of actually controlling her power too. So, like, she can't really back out at the last minute. She can't really do anything else. Like, her power is in his hands now. So yeah, that's Chuck. That is Chuck. Always comes in with a nifty little plan C, plan D, everything else. But yeah, no, this entire ending was orchestrated by Chuck. The way he was even narrating it, like, oh, poor Dean coming in with this doubt and this kind of determination to end things the way that they're supposed to be ended, and then Sam coming in with the last minute kind of revelations and all this kind of stuff. He orchestrated all of it. He wanted to be in the bunker. He wanted him to be in the bunker. He wanted to be trapped there with Amara, and so that then from there he could convince her. So then how much of this ending? I mean, this is Chuck's ending. This is Chuck's dead. So I think on like one hand it does make sense that he would decide how he goes out. Like, he goes out. I mean, because then if he was able to do that, then he would go out like, he wouldn't go out in any way. He would go out in a way that would actually determine how much he takes out with him. If he goes out, then at least half of the Winchester's lives goes out with him. Like, he takes Cass, he takes Chuck, he takes Apocalypse World, Bobby and Charlie and everyone else, and everything else goes down that way. But he orchestrated all the stuff going on. So then that makes me wonder if he really did orchestrate the whole Adam giving up his rib thing to give Jack the extra power. But then in the end, Jack actually ended up. He said, you get to watch him die, and then he disappeared. And then Jack just started like, I thought his eyes were gonna burn out again, like they did last season. But no, it just goes down like his eyes, like his skin was crackling, and it's like there was like a fire behind it. It's like it was about to actually blow into a million pieces. But I don't know. His plan is to go out with as much attention on his side as possible. So if he is literally like a more narcissistic kind of kind of bomb of his own. Like, if I go down, at least half of you go down with me. At least half of you go down with me, and stuff like that. So he orchestrated all of this. So then the question is, how much of the ending will be in Sam and Dean's power? How much of the ending will be what they plan to do and what they want to do with it? So, or how much of this could he have actually done? Because I don't know. Well, I mean, knowing Chuck, it's safe to presume all of it, like everything from them finding them actually getting through to Death's library, and Sam and Jack and Dean finding the rib and consuming that, and then all the other stuff going on. Like, it's safe to presume all of it because it's Chuck. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like it might just have also been that ending too. Like, it could have also just been that kind of like those last like 20-25 minutes. Like, like Sam and Dean fighting over what to do and fighting each other. And like, I got to say, that performance from Jensen and Jared. Oh, jeez, this. Jensen and Jared, I think not only do they know how to draw tears of their own, they also know how to draw out the tears of the audience. They've had moments in this show that literally will make you bawl your eyes out, and I think this comes close. This definitely comes close. This one, just seeing them kind of, seeing Sam kind of reassuring him, like, you've protected me my entire life, from Dad, from Yellow Eyes, from Lucifer, from basically everything else we've ever come up against that might have been a threat to my life. Like Sam reassuring him that, they will find a way, because they have always found a way. Like, in the past, it's true that sometimes they've had, like, one of them has had to give their life, and then that's ended with the other one, making any attempt possible to bring the other one back. But most of the time anyway. But I mean, pretty much the entire show, they've always kind of tried to have each other's backs, and they've always like found another way besides from what seems predestined and stuff. So Sam made a good point there, and that kind of, like Dean's kind of anger and pain being like, this is the only way. Like his determination right now, his main point of focus is actually freeing himself from Chuck's hamster wheel, from Chuck's kind of from Chuck's drawing board of what the story is and what it should be. So yeah, just seeing those performances from Jared and Jensen, seeing those performances was just heartbreaking, and it makes me wonder how the rest of the season might go down if we're already shedding tears this early. I mean, I said this early, this is the 4th episode, we've got 3 more to go to see how things actually go down once and for all, but I do not know. But that ending alone could have been orchestrated by Chuck. So again, Chuck likes tears. Chuck is a drama queen. Chuck likes drama. He likes theatrics, like tears, any emotional turmoil. He thrives on that shit. He thrives on it. So any excuse, any reason to make Sam and Dean cry because of each other or at each other, he'll go for it. And then in the end, what he didn't really expect was that, Sam and Dean still fighting for their free will. He will, like they will actually come to, like they will, and they actually did come to a kind of agreement in the end that they would actually find another way. They would find it because it's what they've always done. So they will be damned if they let Chuck take everything away from them in exchange for giving them what they really want at this point. So yeah, it's crazy stuff. But yeah, Chuck did leave with that. Chuck left having activated the now, metaphysical supernova inside of Jack. But then apparently that might not even kill Chuck. It might just kill Jack instead. So I guess we have to wait and find out what exactly goes down. I mean, I'm surprised on the Amara thing again. I'm surprised that Amara actually listened to him. So I mean, well, I think that could be something he orchestrated too. I feel like that had to be like Amara giving in so easily to his speech, to his kind of to his kind of confession, is something that he could have orchestrated too. Because Amara did say that she at first she did say that she wouldn't betray him, but she also wouldn't help him either. So and I think Amara, I think it doesn't make sense to me that Amara would all of a sudden be so kind of devastated about the whole balance thing and the whole thing about how if Sam and Dean take Chuck out, then they would need to take out Amara too. Why she would be so devastated about that now. I think that is also her giving in to him so easily and actually letting him consume her. It had to be something that Chuck orchestrated, because I think Amara herself, she would not agree to any of this. Even if she did find that out, or even if she did actually hear about it in those words, in that kind of reveal, then I feel like she would have just walked away. I feel like the real Amara would have just walked away. She would never give in to Chuck. Trying to convince her that a reboot was what was necessary. She would just walk away. She would she probably could she would probably confront the Winchesters about their true plans, but then she would just walk away. She'd be like, well, I won't let you kill me. I like living, but do what you will to my brother. And then she would try and just run out. But yeah, the fact that she would, the way she'd give in so easily to Chuck, knowing what he's done, knowing who he is and what he's really like, I don't believe she would actually give him the power necessary to fight back against the Winchesters or do what he really wants to do. So that kind of irks me the wrong way too, but yeah, that had to be something else orchestrated by Chuck. It had to be. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So we'll see exactly how the stuff with Jack and the boys goes down, and if Jack can survive and how he survives, and how they actually move forward with this new Chuck Amara fusing into one being, and how they plan on stopping him. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I think this episode alone definitely has the energy to it that it's all coming to some kind of big dramatic fruition. So we'll see exactly how stuff ends and how the story ends, and how they plan on defeating Chuck. Now knowing this new information too, now they have to find a new way. Now they have to find a new way, knowing what Billy's true plan is. So they have to find a new way that doesn't benefit Billy in such a self-serving kind of way. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So that was Supernatural, Season 15, Episode 17. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Supernatural. Once again, the full-length reaction will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that one out over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.